winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this son of York, and all the clouds that lord upon our house, in the deep bosom of the ocean buried, now are our brows bounded in victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarms changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his wrinkled front, and now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber, to the vicarious pleasing of a lute. But I, that have not been shaped for sportive trick, nor made to court an amorous-looking lass, I that am rudely stamped and want love's majesty, just struck before a wanton ambling nymph, I that have been curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of this feature by dissembling nature, unfinished, deformed, sent before my time, into this breathing world scarce half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I halt by the way. Why I, in this weak piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to see my shadow in the sun, descant on my own deformity. And therefore, since I can't prove a lover to entertain these farewell spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid, inductions dangerous, by drunken prophecies, libels, and dreams, to set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate, the one against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false, and treacherous, this day should Clarence be closely moved up about the prophecy which says that G of Edward's heirs the murderer shall be. And I've thoughts deep down to my soul. Here Clarence comes. Clarence!
Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will, and where shall we dine, oh me? What fray was here? Tell me not, for I've heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, O brawling love, O loving hate? Oh, anything of nothing. First create, heavy lightness, serious vanity. Misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep that is not what it is. This love feel I, feel no loveliness. Dost thou not laugh? Why, such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have impressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke made with the fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? Madness most discreet, choking gall, and preserving a sweet? Farewell.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep perchance the dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil? Let's give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of the spy's love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would thwartles bear to grunt and sweat under our weary life, with the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills that we have than to fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience makes cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sickly over with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment in this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action.